Assalamu alaikum. 9 p.m. The news read by Kawal Shamim. First, the headline. Prime Minister has urged the global community to play its role in preventing aggressive policies and Hindutva ideology of RSS-inspired BJP government in occupied Kashmir. Foreign Minister says peaceful Afghanistan will help Pakistan in forging effective political and economic partnership with other regional countries. Voluntary repatriation of Afghan refugees to their country from Pakistan resumed today after a break of 3 months. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops arrested several Kashmiri youth during crackdown and raids in different areas of the territory. In India, Chief Minister West Bengal says communal violence in New Delhi is state-sponsored genocide. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has urged the global community to play its role in preventing aggressive policies and Hindutva ideology of RSS-inspired BJP government in occupied Kashmir. Talking to Saudi Deputy Minister of Defense Prince Khalid bin Salman bin Abdulaziz in Islamabad today, he said recent targeting killing of Muslims in New Delhi and the desecration of their place of worship are matter of grave concern for entire global community. The Prime Minister underscored that the Indian government is engaged in systematic effort to discriminate against marginalized and minorities, particularly Muslims. Deputy Minister of Defense Saudi Arabia also called on Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa at GHQ in Rawalpindi today. They exchanged views on issues of mutual interest, including defense and security cooperation measures to further enhance bilateral defense collaboration, including training exchange program and overall regional security situation, including situation in India-occupied Kashmir. They also agreed that both countries share great history of cordial relation and deep spirit of brotherhood, which is being transformed into enduring partnership. Addressing the launching ceremony of ESSA's undergraduate scholarship program in Islamabad this evening, Prime Minister said granting scholarship on merit to deserving undergraduate students is another step towards realization of goal of welfare state based on the pattern of state of Medina. He said this program complements this roadmap to transform Pakistan on the model of state of Medina. The Prime Minister said in that model Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had ensured that it is responsibility of state to care and look after the weaker segment of society. President Dr. Arif Alvi has urged the religious scholar to play leading role in the nation building and redressal of social issues. Addressing a brainstorming session with the religious scholar in Islamabad today, he stressed that there is dire need to promote the message of cleanliness and sanitation through the mosques to save population from different diseases, including communicable ones. Addressing the ceremony, Minister for Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony Dr. Nurul Haq Qadri urged clerics to highlight the issues of current era in their sermons. In her speech, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan said the present government believes in freedom of media as it is considered as important pillar of the state. Leader of the House in the Senate, Sibli Faraz, has said the PTI government under the leadership of Prime Minister Imran Khan is committed to overcome all the challenges being faced by the country. Speaking in the House, he said PTI has not created any difficulty in the country as all the issues including economic crisis are inherited from the previous government. He said that Minister for Power will also brief the House in detail about price of petrol and gas. Minister for Power Omar Ayub said the government is taking steps to launch renewable energy project for providing electricity to consumer on lower rates. Winding up discussion on club motion in the House, he said the government is working on renewable energy policies to harness immense potential in solar, winds and hydro resources. Minister for Revenue Hamad Azhar said that due to effective measures of the government, inflation rate has been brought down from 14.6% to 12.4%, while the inflation rates of the non-perishable food item decreased further. The House has now been prorogued. This is Radio Pakistan. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says peaceful Afghanistan will have Pakistan in foreign effective political and economic partnership with other regional countries. He was talking to Sindh Governor Imran Ismail, who called on him in Islamabad this evening. During the meeting, they discussed regional situation arising out of landmark peace agreement between the United States and Afghan Taliban. The process of voluntary repatriation of Afghan refugees to their country from Pakistan has resumed after a break of 3 months. UNHCR spokesman Kaisar Afridi, while talking to media person in Peshawar, said the repatriation will continue for next 9 months. He said 2 centers have been established at Nusheira and Quetta for voluntary repatriation of Afghan refugees. The spokesman said at present around 1.4 million Afghan refugees are living in different cities of Pakistan. Pakistan and the United Kingdom have affirmed the resolve to further expand their cooperation in various fields including economics, cultural and education. The understanding came during a meeting between Planning Minister Asad Umar and British High Commissioner Dr. Christian Turner in Islamabad today. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops arrested several Kashmiris used during crackdown operation and house raid in different areas of the territory. The occupational forces have created an atmosphere of fear and harassment through the ongoing corridor and search operation in several districts. The Indian authorities have strictly ordered media outlets and journalists in occupied Kashmir to avoid covering an human rights violation and publishing statement of the Hurriyat leadership. Meanwhile, Indian Supreme Court has refused to refer to the large bench a bench of plea challenging the constitutional validity of India's unilateral decision of 5th August 2019 of abrogating Article 370. In India, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee says communal violence in New Delhi is state-sponsored genocide. Addressing an event in Kolkata, she said the BJP is trying to replicate the Gujarat model of riots across the country. Banerjee also condemned those who raised the controversial Goli Maro slogan while heading to Home Minister Amit Shah rally. She also questions as to why BJP leaders were not arrested for raising provocation slogans. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in the most part of the country, while cold in upper area during the next 12 hours. However, rain is expected at a few places in North Balochistan. And repeat the headlines. Prime Minister has urged the global community to play its role in preventing aggressive policies and Hindutva ideology of RSS-inspired BJP government in occupied Kashmir. Foreign Minister says peaceful Afghanistan will have Pakistan in forging effective political and economic partnership with other regional countries. Voluntary repatriation of Afghan refugees to their country from Pakistan resumed today after a break of 3 months. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops arrested several Kashmiri youth during crackdown and raids in different areas of the territory. In India, Chief Minister West Bengal says communal violence in New Delhi is state-sponsored genocide. And that is the end of the news.